All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to this week's edition of Fights Unwrapped. Joining me today is my co-host Dustin Hunt. Our other co-host Alec Carr has some work to do, so he cannot join us today. But that's okay. We have a stellar card to talk about, UFC 279. But before we do that, we gotta talk about our sponsors real quick. So anybody that has any type of injuries, sports injuries, gym injuries, whatever kind of injuries that you might have that are prolonging, you should check out some CBD products. And the perfect place to see that is obviously rxhemp.com. You can use our promo code rxhemp-usn and get 10% off your entire order. As well, if anybody is betting on any of the fights this weekend, I know I am. I know probably Dustin might do the same thing. You can check out mybookie.ag and use promo code USN100 for 100% sign up bonus if you sign up today. All right, so we got a few headlines to talk about. The first headline we're going to talk about is something that Alec Carr brought up, which is Francis Ngannou's comments. So I'll give you guys the rundown on this. So basically, Francis Ngannou said that he basically had to borrow some money and asked for some money last year when he made about 600K last year. And Alec Carr was just saying, like, he doesn't market himself. He doesn't, he doesn't go on social media too much. He doesn't do anything to deserve more money. So I'm going to go over to Dustin, my co-host. What do you think about Francis Ngannou's comments? Do you think they're valid? Do you think he should be doing more and stepping up his game to earn more money? What do you think?
First of all, if let's just say his base pay was 600,000, let's just say you divvy in taxes. Let's say you pay his coaches 10%.
Yeah.
Let's say he also, let's say his manager is taking another 20%, 30%. I don't know the books. I don't know the exact deal they got on, so
Yeah.
I can't really. I'm not going to even try to comment on exact numbers, exact figures. But I'll tell you what, it could at least draw out to 400 grand.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, 300 to the mid 300s to 400 grand. If I'm just spitballing, if I'm not actually, doing math. Now, just off the top of my head, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you made 350 grand in the United States today, and you are borrowing money, you did something financially wrong.
Yeah.
I know people who are raising a family of 6 with like 100 grand a year. So if you can't support yourself off of 400 grand a year, maybe you shouldn't be wearing expensive suits to fight nights.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't be doing some things that you're doing. That's pretty fair, if you ask me. I don't know if he lives in the United States. I don't know if he resides in France. I don't know if his permanent residence. I don't know how his international tax goes. I don't know, but common sense will tell you if you can't live off 300 grand a year or 350, 400 grand a year, you're financially doing something incorrect. And it's stupid to say. Now, if it was like a UFC fighter that was making 10, because I'll tell you right now, these guys that are making 20 grand to fight if they win, so we're talking 10 show, 10 win. After paying coaches and after going through taxes and all that bull jive, I could believe those guys aren't making enough and they have to fight like 8 times a year to make a bunch of money. God damn. To make a bunch of money. So I understand those guys doing that. But when it comes to a fighter making that much, you have no excuse.
Yeah.
So I have zero idea why he'd borrow money. And second of all, if you want more money, like Alex said or in the chats, it's like, dude, you need to get the pay-per-view points. You need to negotiate certain things in the contract. And I don't know what's in his contract, but I'll tell you, if he's making only 600 grand at the end of the day, I mean, you fucked up somewhere. And if you're borrowing money, you definitely fucked up somewhere. And you're living outside of your means. That's exactly what I would say. So if he's going to really talk shit to normal Americans or Canadians, Mexican, I don't give a fuck what country.
Yeah.
If you're that type of money in any country and you're at borrowing money, you fucked up. I mean, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I agree. I think something financially is not clicking for him. Like he's definitely spending too much. Like he does wear a lot of expensive suits. I don't know where he lives, like you said. I don't know if he drives a really nice car or something like that, but his spending definitely needs some help. And plus, if he
He
wants,
took a picture with the Lamborghini.
there you go. I mean, can he afford it? If he can't afford it, then why buy it? It is what it is. But this is not a common sense kind of show. This is not a show where we give financial advice. But he definitely needs some financial advice if he's borrowing money after
From
making
somebody.
600K. Yeah, exactly. So we are gonna move on from this headline, and we're gonna talk about something that's a little bit more exciting. We got Darren Till making his comeback against, I can't pronounce his name, Dricus Duplessis. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but probably not. Point is that Darren Till's coming back. He just, I don't know, Dustin, if you know this, but Darren Till got arrested for a DUI not too long ago, and now they're making his comeback fight coming up, I believe in November, if I'm not mistaken. Probably that's what it is. So, what do you think about Darren Till's comeback fight? Do you think that he is ready for this fight? Do you think he's disciplined? Do you think he's training towards this fight, or do you think he's going to be the same screw up that we've seen the last few years, unfortunately?
You know what? I'm not a guy to like judge people off their
Yeah,
stupid mistakes because God knows I think everybody has made them. So, but I will say that Darren Till he's a little bit he's a little bit flaky. And first of all, getting a DUI, bro, you couldn't get a ride home.
I know.
You can't get an Uber. You can't do something. Dude, driving drunk is really foolish.
Yeah,
And it's like, I mean, again, I think everybody's done it. I think a lot of people I know have done it. I mean, I can't lie, but it's to a point where, dude, all it takes is one time. I mean, you're
yeah,
lucky you got a DUI. What happens if you kill somebody? What happens if you
yeah.
end up like Henry Ruggs?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't get excited for him fighting because I don't even know if he's going to show up. He got injured the last time I got excited, and I'm not for it. I'm not going to get excited. He's doing this press run with Cosmo.
Mm.
And Cosmo, man, he's getting a little on my shit list. I keep watching stuff
Yeah.
about him. He's getting a little on my shit list. The stuff he does, the stuff he says.
Hmm.
And I think Darren Till ain't no better, ain't no good influence for him. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
yeah,
that. Darren Till, I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I could comment. It's like trying to get excited for something that you don't know is going to happen. Like it's almost like it's not for sure. It's
yeah, yeah.
contingent.
Hmm.
So I'm not too excited for Darren Till's fight right now. Like I can't get excited until he weighs in.
Would you
Like
think? Would you say he's on the same level as Paulo Costa? Like how Paulo Costa is super flaky as well. Like would you say that he's on that same level, or is he's getting to that, or do you think that he's actually gonna take this seriously?
I think Paulo Costa shows up more than him. That's the problem. I
Oh
think Paulo
wow.
Costa shows up more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it's a good track record. I mean, look at Darren Till. Dude ain't fought in 3 years. I mean, dude, when's the last time you saw Darren Till?
That's true.
With
Yeah.
a young, we're talking a young guy. We're talking a young
Yeah.
guy. We're not talking somebody old. We're talking a
Hmm.
young individual, and he still is not fighting. Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought out of 1 or 2 fights. I mean, we could say that, and he came in overweight or this and that, but he's been there at least. Like he's fought a few times.
Hmm.
Darren Till can't even get into the octagon. He can't even get to the ring. So I can't say he's worse than Paulo Costa because at least Paulo Costa's been fighting. At least he's been sort of active. I mean, that's just point blank. Period. I mean, what do you think about it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that Darren Till, like, I was disappointed in him getting the DUI. I didn't think he was going to be that reckless. But I can see, like, him, like, the people that he hung around with and, like, that trained with him weren't the greatest people besides Kazma, who is obviously super focused for his fight coming up. I think that, I hope that this DUI is a wake up call for him. Like, that he needs to get back on track. He needs to get back to training, eating right, hanging around the right people, and then hopefully his life and his career will turn around because it's just really disappointing. as Alex said in our last stream, that someone like Darren Till that has so much potential in the sport is spiraling. You know, we don't like seeing that, obviously, right? So, anyways, we are gonna move on because we have a few more headlines to talk about before we talk about the main card for UFC 279. So, this is unfortunate, but Giga Chikadze is out of his fight against Sadiq Youssef, and the reason being is that we don't actually know. That is the most frustrating part of this whole process of finding this out, is that we don't actually know why. Maybe there was an injury, maybe he got COVID. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm very disappointed because I really want to see Giga, and Sadiq, kind of battle it out next week in their fight. So they're trying to find a fight, like a replacement fight for them in about 10 days notice. So that's what it is. Dustin, do you have any thoughts about Giga being out of this fight?
I've never liked the undisclosed reasons why someone's
I
out of
know.
the fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because if it's an injury, there's no reason not to tell the truth. There's no reason not to come out.
Right, right, right.
If he's gotten sick, if he got sick, there's no reason not to come out. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think leaving it undisclosed is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst thing you can do because it just opens up a whole can of worms. Like, why this, why that? Could he not make weight? Could he not do this? Was he not prepared? There's a million things to come up with. So I'd never understood why camps weren't specific to a reason why a fighter wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
I've never understood it. I always think there's something secretive going on if they don't disclose it. So as much as I think Giga is reputable, I mean, I think he's a good guy. He's a good fighter. So, and he showed up to his fights. He's never really been flaky. So
Yeah.
I have no like pretentious reason to like think that he's like, bowing out or he wasn't professional about it. He couldn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
But if dude, if it's something that is understandable, I don't know why he's not going public with it. So all it does is create like a stigma of, okay, why didn't you show up? Especially Yusuf's been out for a long time. This dude's been.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
he just trained for this fight. I mean, you owe it to the other fighter to give him something.
Yeah.
Give him something, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because he's about to miss a payday. So if he doesn't get a fight, he's missing money. So yeah, I think they need to give a reason.
No, for sure. I think they need to give a reason. I think it's probably an injury or an illness. That's probably my best bet. I can't see it being another reason. I can't see him trying to run away from it, saying he's just not prepared for it or whatever, because they've had a lot of time to train for this fight. So I can't see it being another reason. But anyway, speaking of really not really surprising, but kind of surprising news, let's go. Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul is confirmed. That's right. It is confirmed. Last time when me and Alec were talking about it last week, it wasn't confirmed. It was just a rumor, and they were talking about it. But now that the fight is actually confirmed, I'm not too excited about it. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, to be honest with you. I don't think it's gonna sell very well. Dustin, you always talk about pay-per-view points and stuff like that. So what do you think about this fight? Do you think it's gonna do well or not?
I think it's going to do actually very well, in my opinion, because Dana White has been talking about that fight. Like literally, he even said, "You don't see Jake Paul calling out Silva. You don't see Jake Paul doing this. You don't see Jake Paul doing that." Then all of a sudden, Jake Paul does it, and he signs a contract. I think that everybody's making a mistake with this fight because they keep saying that they keep doing the same shit they've been doing at Jake Paul his whole boxing career. Oh, he's not good enough. Oh, he's not this. Oh, he's not that. Oh, he's not Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's too good for him. Jake is still a novice. I'm gonna tell you right now about Jake Paul. I don't understand why people don't think this dude is not a good boxer. He's good. Is he on like Better Beeves level, which would be his weight class as champion? No. No, he would get killed. And so would Anderson Silva, by the way. If he boxed someone like Better Beef would put him on the ropes with no question. Because Anderson Silva is an old dude. Now the only thing I don't like about this is that Anderson Silva, again, even if Jake Paul sparks him up, it's going to be, well, Silva was an old MMA fighter. I already know the excuses. So and then Silva fought Chavez Jr. I'm gonna tell you right now, the only reason Cesar Chavez Jr. even got these fights is because of his father. I mean, it is what it is. His name got him where he was at,
Hmm.
and he was never some top level boxer. Like it is what it is. And he fought Canelo. The only reason he got the Canelo fight was because of that. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. That's the only reason he got that fight, and
Hmm.
he got destroyed. It wasn't even close. Canelo dog walked him. So it's a thing where I think people are overestimating Silva's boxing background.
Yeah, yeah.
He knocked out Tito Ortiz. Bro, you should knock out Tito Ortiz in boxing. He's a wrestler. If anybody knows Tito Ortiz, his main thing in MMA was honestly wrestling. He was not a big striker. He just wasn't.
Hmm.
So I'm not surprised Silva knocked him out. Paul is a rich dude. He trains year round with one of the best camps in the world.
Mm.
Are you really about to tell me that Jake Paul is not a good boxer and that he can't stand in a boxing ring with Anderson Silva?
Yeah.
Because he can. Now, if we're talking a Muay Thai fight, no. If we're talking knees, elbows, all that, no, he can't. But in a squared up boxing fight where all you have is a square with the hands and everything, Jake is going to be able to stand in there. I don't know why people don't think so, but he is. So I'm excited for the fight. I can't wait. I think Paul's going to win. I don't know why people keep thinking that Jake Paul's this just YouTuber. He's not. He's not.
Mm. I think that personally, I think his brother Logan is the better boxer. I think he has more boxing experience. So that's why I think he's the better boxer than Jake Paul. I don't really know Jake Paul too much as a boxer. I only know him mostly as a YouTube fighter. Sorry, a YouTube personality. But me and Alec, we both think that the Paul brothers are just corrupting the sport. But we do think that most likely we actually think that Anderson Silva is probably gonna win this fight, but it's kind of like, well, Anderson Silva is like retired. He's obviously past his prime, and he's facing against someone who's very young and very vivacious. And so we'll see what happens. I don't think I'm gonna watch this fight. If you're excited for it, you can go watch it, but I probably won't. So, but
Watch it.
this fight is confirmed. So if anybody is interested, you can go and watch the fight in a couple of months' time. So speaking of which, our last headline before we talk about our main card is that Thiago Santos just announced that he signed with PFL, which, okay, Dustin requested that we made this a topic. I brought it up in the chats. Okay, here's my thing. If anybody does not know who Thiago Santos is, in the last few years, he suffered a really major injury after the John Jones fight. I believe he tore his ACL, his MCL, his PCL, and he also had uh, a torn meniscus. That's right. And ever since that, he hasn't won a fight, like at all. And that's one of the reasons I feel like that's why he signed with PFL. Maybe he thinks it's a better opportunity for him. I personally think that PFL is trying to copy Bellator, where like these are the UFC scraps and they're like on their way out, to be released. And now they're picking up pieces and now they're signing them to the contracts. That's what I think. I think it's terrible for the organization. No offense to Thiago Santos, like I love him no matter what, but he's just not a really keen and hot fighter right now because he's on a losing streak, and I don't think that signing with PFL is going to be really good for his career. If anything, it's going to be detrimental. It's just going to be even worse. So, Dustin, you brought this up as a topic. What do you think about this signing? What do you think about the reasoning behind it? What are your speculations?
I have two angles to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So PFL made a big deal out of Sergio Pettis, right?
Yes.
Now I'll tell you right now, Sergio Pettis has been not Sergio Pettis, my bad, Anthony Pettis.
Anthony,
Sergio
yeah.
Santos.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anthony, as we all know, was a big popular guy in the UFC. And actually, as he left the UFC, he was on a 2-fight win streak. He got beat up in
Yeah.
PFL. I think the PFL there's two angles. Either stupid and they're signing this old guy thinking he's going to bring up ratings, which I don't see how, because I just don't see how.
Yeah,
And second of all, it's just bad business signing another promotion's old talent because you look like you're just trying to pick him up for height value because you fought in the UFC.
that's
Another
Bellator right there. That's
and
exactly.
another and another angle is that they're signing him so he gets sparked in the PFL.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two, because I think the PFL has real talent.
Yeah,
The guys who are the top four in the light heavyweight division in PFL are still really good fighters,
yeah,
and they're all serious. Like those guys are really good, man. They're world class. Like they're not. They might not be in the UFC right now, but they're still very good. And
mm-hmm.
I think that they're sending him into PFL in the light heavyweight division, and I think he's going to get beat up
Yeah,
because a lot of those guys are young. A lot of those guys are hungry. A lot of those guys are first. They're kind of starting out. And dude, I think Thiago Santos is going to get beat up if they are playing the angle that I think they're playing. They're stupid. But if it's the angle that I think is smart, then they're not. Then they're smart because it's like if you're signing Thiago Santos to watch him get downed in PFL and kind of be like, this is UFC's top talent. He just fought for a title not too long ago, all that, and our PFL guys are whooping his ass.
mm-hmm.
That could be one of them. That could be one of them. But another one, if they're stupid, is signing him for height. If they're stupid, if they're signing him for height and for attraction and to sell tickets, because the sell tickets or pay per views or trying to
Mm-hmm.
sign him to make the promotion better. Because if they're trying to do that, he holds no value. But if they're holding the value and getting beat in the PFL, then there's different. Because there was value in Anthony Pettis getting whooped in PFL.
Yeah,
There was value there. There was absolute value there. Not saying that Anthony Pettis was in his prime or not, but it's like he still came in and everybody thought he was going to dominate. Everybody thought he was going to win.
mm-hmm.
Go look what happened, bro. He got beat up. Dude, Anthony Pettis got beat up in PFL.
Yeah,
And it's like PFL has real talent. And I think if they're smart, they're taking this angle to watch Thiago Santos get beat up, if you ask me.
yeah. No, I can see that happening. The only thing I could see the PFL, like the reason why they might want to sign him, besides the fact that you talked about it, was maybe perhaps they're trying to globalize and they're trying to reach out to more markets, and maybe they're trying to sign him because obviously he's from Brazil and that's a huge market in the whole fight game. So it could be one of those reasons, but I can't see that really happening. I can see it being a reason, but not a main reason why they signed him. But it is what it
My problem,
is.
my problem with them reaching the Brazilian market
Yeah,
is you would have to obtain a venue in Brazil to really do that because Brazil's not very wealthy, man.
yeah,
There's not very many Brazilians over here with pay-per-view. Okay?
yeah,
It's not a rich country. You have to be upper class in Brazil to get that type of entertainment. That is what it is. Brazil is not wealthy. Now they do love their fighters and they do attend. Don't get me wrong, the attendance in
yeah,
Brazil is insane.
yeah,
But again, though, you're not really gonna play to the general Brazilian crowd because he's not young. If this was a young, up and coming Brazilian, then I could appreciate it. I could see why they would do that. But he's old. Thiago Santos is old, dude. He's not gonna be there. And me
yeah,
personally, I think he's gonna get beat up by a few of these young light heavyweights in PFL. And I don't understand that. Even if it was the Brazilian angle, I don't
yeah,
think they really have an angle because they're not gonna get a venue in Brazil. Like, let's just be. I don't think they're gonna get a venue in Brazil. They've been
mhm,
fighting. They've been fighting locally in the United States. Like we're
mhm,
talking Atlanta. They were in Arlington,
yeah,
in Texas. So I don't think they're gonna be able to obtain these big venues in Brazil. So if your angle would be correct, it wouldn't make sense. Like it just wouldn't make sense to
yeah.
me.
I guess you're right. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll be keeping an eye on PFL for him. Anyways, we are done with the headlines for today. We are moving on to the big UFC 279 preview. Is too bad our co-host Alec Carr and even Ethan is not here because there are a lot of fights that we can talk about that are also really good fights to bet on. What's called? I'm trying to see if there's any great fights in the prelims. Not really, because I know
There's
Alec
one
Carr.
that I like.
Which one is that one?
It's Barnett.
Oh yeah. Oh
Barnett, the
yeah. Jake
heavyweight.
Colton. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can
He's
see that.
he's a He's about the only heavyweight I've ever seen land a wheel kick.
Yeah, I know, right? That was pretty awesome.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody land a wheel kick like that.
Mm-hmm.
As a heavyweight, as that big of a boy, land a wheel kick cleanly. I don't think I've ever seen that, man. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay, so you guys can keep an eye on Chris Barnett versus Jay Coulter. That's gonna be on the prelims, but we're gonna start off with the first bout, which is a light heavyweight bout between. This is gonna be fucking easy as fuck. Okay, Johnny Walker versus Ion Kutaliba. I'm gonna go to Dustin first before I go to myself. Who the fuck do you think is gonna win this fight?
I'll probably say Johnny Walker.
Why would you say Johnny Walker?
I think they're both coming off losses.
Kutaliba, I believe, just won. If I'm not mistaken.
Look, I don't know. I think he might have came off. No, he lost to Ryan Spann. Yeah, dude, he lost to Guillotine.
Yeah.
He got a draw with Justin Jacoby.
Yeah, but Johnny Walker is just like, he's Johnny Walker.
I think both of them are equally not good. At least Johnny Walker had some type of hype at one point.
Same as Kutaliba, he had some hype as well.
I think they both did. Maybe this is like the fight of let's see who's going to do what. But, Johnny Walker has also lost to Hill and Santos. So we're talking two pretty big players, man. I mean.
Yeah, that's true.
And he beat the guy that just beat Ian. So his last win was the guy that beat Kutaliba. So it's hard because Johnny Walker's on a pretty good little streak until he lost to Anderson. And he lost to when he started losing his Santos and Hill. He got beat by Krylov, but Krylov's pretty good. I mean, he's not losing to people that are terrible. Like Ian's over here losing to Ryan Spann.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think Johnny Walker might get him. This is probably one of those fights I think he might win, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think I have a bit of more faith in Ion Kutaliba. I've always liked him. He hasn't had the greatest success lately, but I guess, because I'm not a big fan of Johnny Walker, I don't believe in the hype, that is Johnny Walker. I never did. So that's the reason why I picked Ion Kutaliba. But we are going to move on to the next bout, which is a women's bantamweight bout. We got Irene Aldana versus Macy Chimaev. And this is actually a pretty interesting fight. I've been an Aldana fan for a long time, but I also like Macy, so it's kind of hard for me to choose. But if I have to choose one person to win, I'll choose Aldana. I think she's made her mistakes. I think she's learned from them. Mm-hmm. I think that's the reason why I choose her, because I think that she can actually improve on her game a lot, and we'll see, because her striking is impeccable. So what do you think, Dustin? Who do you think's going to win this women's bout?
Again, this is a hard one. They're both pretty big girls, man.
Yeah.
Well, they're both almost 5'10". I mean, that's pretty big. They both have fought some experienced people, but they both lost. So they both lost to Raquel Pennington, which is, I don't even like Raquel Pennington. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
I think that Aldana's faced Holly. I mean, she's faced more higher competition.
Yep.
She's fought Holly Holm. Like she's fought people like that. So this one's such a toss up. I think they're both pretty equal. Mm-hmm. But I was to pick one right now, I think I would pick Aldana.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Aldana's a little bit. Oh man, it's such a hard fight. I think both of them are so equal. Like it's not. It's hard to get that.
Technically, Aldana's better. Like technically, her striking's a little bit better. She's like one up a little bit than Macy. That's what I think.
Macy kills. She's a little bit. She's a little bit longer with her reach. She's a little bit more lanky. So it really just depends on how Macy approaches it. If she stays on the outside a little bit, because she does though. I've seen them. Yeah. She tries to stay on that outside a lot. So we'll see. I don't see too much when it comes to the ground game with Aldana. I don't know. I haven't seen her really try to dominate with that. I've never really seen her try to take everybody down.
Mhm.
So we'll see. But I think her best shot would be to try to get down. To be honest, I think it would probably be to grapple a little bit. But we'll see. Honestly, but if I was to pick one, I would pick Aldana. If I
Yeah,
had to bet on it.
for sure. Which I'll probably bet on it. Considering I just filled up my deposit for my betting site. So right now we are moving on to a catchweight bout. That's right, a catchweight bout between Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez or Rodriguez, whatever you want to say it. Um, Here's the thing: Kevin Holland is supposed to win this fight. That's what a lot of people are saying. That's what basically a lot of experts are saying that. They're just a lot of people are saying Kevin Holland should win this fight. Daniel Rodriguez, I like him. I personally do, but I just don't think he's as technically better than Kevin Holland. That's why I picked Kevin Holland to win this fight. What do you think, Dustin? Who do you think is going to win this catchweight bout?
It's really hard to say because I think Kevin Holland's the more fan favorite draw.
Yeah.
I think he's more of the like everybody's saying that he's winning because again he's just the more fan favorite. Like, he's more known. Daniel Rodriguez, if you watch the UFC, you'll know Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. And I'm gonna tell you the only thing I will say about Daniel Rodriguez, he's a lot more crisp than Kevin Holland is. I think he's a lot more crisp with striking. He's fast. His kicks are really good. He's a really good striker. But I mean, if he takes on striking with Holland, I just don't think it's gonna fare in his way because Holland's just bigger, in my opinion. And I think he's got a bigger reach. I think he's a bigger body.
Yeah.
I think he's more powerful than Daniel when it comes to that, and he's also a very good striker, dude. Very good striker. Like he's not as I'm not gonna say he's as crisp as D-Rod, but this isn't exactly a how do I say it? Like an obvious win.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Holland will probably overtake D-Rod if he tries to stand up. If they stand up the whole fight and make it a kickboxing match, I think Holland's going to win this one.
Yeah.
And I think it's by design, in my opinion. It's by design. I think this was put in front of Kevin Holland to kind of put his get a little win streak going, get his popularity up. I think they purposely put him against Daniel Rodriguez. So, but it's not a throw up, man. Daniel Rodriguez has a really good shot. So if you're betting and the spread is really high, the spread's really big, I would almost bet Daniel Rodriguez if the spread's too high. Because Daniel Rodriguez has a real shot to win the fight.
For sure. We'll see how it goes, but it should be an interesting one. I'm really excited to see that one. But the one that I'm very excited to see besides the main event is actually the co-main event, which is a welterweight bout between Li Jingliang versus, everybody knows this name, Tony Ferguson. And here's my thing. Okay, I usually lately have been, against Tony Ferguson, as a lot of people have been. He just hasn't been the same fighter. Keeps making mistakes. He keeps running his mouth instead of fucking, training and being disciplined. And I think that here's the thing: Li Jingliang, if he makes the same mistakes that he did with the Kazma Chimaev fight, he might lose this fight. But I do believe that Tony Ferguson just isn't the same fighter as he used to be. I don't think his IQ is that good when it comes to being in the octagon. So I am going to side with the Chinese in this one, not just because I am Chinese, it's because I actually think that Tony Ferguson might not be fully there, as he hasn't been there the last few fights. Dustin,
are you Chinese?
I am Chinese, yes.
You are Chinese, okay. See, I didn't know that. Hey, I never want to assume that because
we all look, similar,
well,
right?
it's not. No, you don't actually. That's what I'm saying. You really don't. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of the cultures look similar, so I don't think I've ever called anybody. I mostly just go with Asian because there's so many Asian countries.
Yeah.
You could have been anything. So
That's true.
I don't know.
It's a bit mixed for sure. Anyways,
Definitely.
back on topic. Who do you think is gonna win? Is it gonna be the Chinese or is it gonna be the American / Mexican?
Chinese, I have zero idea why Tony Ferguson took this fight. Zero idea. This dude is bigger, man. This dude is massive. And I wouldn't say he made a mistake against Kazmat. I would say that Kazmat whooped his ass. There's a whole difference in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's a difference between making a mistake in a fight and getting just bullied. And he got bullied. Kazmat bullied the shit out of him. Like that's just real. I gotta take him because honestly, other than Kazmat and Magny, I mean, he hasn't lost to anybody bad. Like, let's just be real. He hasn't lost anybody too bad.
Yeah.
And he wins. He doesn't only win. He mostly knocks people out that are on his level. And I don't think that Tony Ferguson's ready for this dude. Like, I really think I've never actually voted for this dude to win a fight. I don't think I ever have. And this one is the one I'm really going to say that he has a real shot at definitely winning. Because Tony Ferguson ain't got no chin. That's just that. I don't think he's got a chin anymore.
Nope.
This turnaround is obviously weird. I don't understand how he did not have a medical suspension for longer. Because Michael Chandler straight ate his chin alive. I have zero idea how he got this fight so quick. My only guess is Dana White wants him out of the UFC as quick as possible.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the way I see it because he's scheduling fights back to back to back. Maybe he has a 6-fight contract and they're trying to get rid of it. So you never know, but he's not going to beat this dude. I think he's about to get bullied in there. He's not big either, so I don't know why he went to 170.
I was gonna say he went to 170. That's crazy, right?
So I have zero idea why Tony Ferguson moved up, but it's Tony, so he doesn't make very, very many smart decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The point is his IQ is like fucking gone or whatever. I don't know where his IQ is at.
I think it's almost a definite that he gets beat in this fight.
Yeah.
I think it's almost definite.
Yeah, I believe my faith in Tony Ferguson has long gone, ever since like maybe a few years ago where he's just kept running his mouth, stopped being smart, and just kept losing fights. That
his downfall was Justin Gaethje.
Yes.
That was his downfall. If he would have just waited and fought Khabib when he should have fought Khabib and not fought Justin Gaethje, I think we'd probably be talking about a different fighter. But I think Gaethje, I think Gaethje just sent his ass down in a spiral. I think Gaethje just sent him out, bro. And that's what happened. I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, that was definitely a weird birthday present for me when I was watching that fight because I was a Tony Ferguson fan, and then just seeing him get beat like that was just heartbreaking. But it is what it is, and then fighters do change sometimes after a fight. But we are talking about an epic main event for UFC 279. We got a welterweight bout between none other than Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev. Something that a lot of fans are looking forward to. I definitely am. I wasn't too excited about it at first, but it kind of grew on me, as time went on. Who do you think? I'm going to go to Dustin first before I get my opinion. Who do you think is actually going to win this fight? Because a lot of people are saying maybe Nate Diaz can pull off the win because he always sometimes pulls off the win, at weird times, right? So what do you think, Dustin?
If Khamzat thinks he's going to bully Nate Diaz, he's highly mistaken. I'm just going to tell you that, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I actually took something Chael Sonnen said about Nate Diaz pretty seriously. And that's I take things about Chael Sonnen not very seriously very often.
Yeah.
And he actually said when he sparred Nate Diaz that he tried to take Nate Diaz down 1,000,000 times. And Nate Diaz stuck him every time. Just stuffed every single one of them.
Yeah.
And he almost asked Nate, and he was thinking about it. He never asked him, but he was like, if Nate Diaz fought like that every time, he'd be winning fights. It's almost like Nate Diaz chooses to go on his back. Like it's almost like Nate Diaz chooses to not win. Like he says it. He literally said that. It's almost like Nate Diaz chooses not to win fights. Like he just chooses not to. And this is one of those fights. I think, and I do believe that. I think Nate Diaz chooses not to win. Like there's certain fights, like Leon Edwards. I think he probably could have won. I
Yeah.
think he probably could have won.
Mm-hmm.
And then he even said about Leon. Nate Diaz was talking about Leon Edwards. He was like, dude, no, I'm not going to take nothing away from Leon Edwards. And he got the job done. Not going to say shit about him. But he was like, when I fought Leon Edwards, he was like, I coasted through the entire fight. And he was like, I wasn't hurt the entire time. And it was like, I coasted through it. He was like, it was almost the easiest fight of my career. And he was like, and then I hurt him in the fifth. He's like, I could have beat the dude. But in my opinion, you chose not to. You
Yeah.
chose not to win the fight, which is so weird. Why didn't you just win then?
I don't know.
So like I'm over here and he's just one of those gangsters, dude. He's a dying breed.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dying breed of fighter. And Nate Diaz is gonna make a lot of money off this fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna make a lot of money off this. And the people are right about Cosmet. I think Cosmet talks shit and he doesn't do that in private. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I think that's why he's starting to get on my bad side because he talks shit, but he does not do it in private. Like when the cameras aren't rolling, he doesn't do it. It's just like Connor does the same thing.
Connor did the same thing. Yeah.
But Connor's better at it though. At least Connor
Yeah.
was. Like Cosmot, dude, it's crazy. I don't think I almost think Nate Diaz is gonna beat him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nate Diaz is about to get him.
Yeah.
Because I think he actually wants to win this fight. I almost think he wants to win this fight because I think he would spite Dana. If he beat Cosmot, it would spite Dana. Like he'd be like,
Yeah.
I just beat your guy you thought was about to be the future champion. And he's like, he just beat by a guy who's 29 and like 12. He got beat by a guy that's not even supposed to be, that big. It's gonna be crazy, but I think Nate Diaz takes it, dude. I think Nate Diaz takes it.
Let's go. I want to search up real quick. I don't know if they have this right now, but Nate Diaz, Asma, Chimaev, bet. Let's see if they have any. Do you know the numbers on like who's plus or minus for the bets?
No, we could definitely look that up.
I'm looking that up right now. So let me see right now. Yada 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 yada. Okay, it looks like Kazma Chimaev, according to the Yahoo Sports site, which I don't know is super accurate, but he is minus 1,200, and Nate Diaz is plus 725. That's
Take that bet. Take it. That is easy.
I'm trying to see if my online site, if anyone wants to look at my bookie, you could also look at that as well. I want to see if the Nate Diaz fight is on there right now because it might. I don't know if it's too early or something like that, but it could be under MMA. But if you bet 725 on Nate Diaz, you better take that bet. That's for sure.
You can bet $5 on that and win like, dude, you'll win like almost like probably $40. If you just bet $5 on that, you'll win $40.
For sure. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything on there. UFC 279. Oh, there are bets here. Oh, they're saying that Nate Diaz is plus 900 on my betting site.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy.
Yeah,
I
and
would
then
take that in a second.
Kazma is minus 1,800. So I'm definitely making a bet on Nate Diaz. I want to think that Chimaev would win, but like you said, I think Nate Diaz wants to prove a point, and he wants to prove a point that he can beat up the guy that's supposed to be a future champion, like you said, Dustin, and kind of just rub it in Dana's face and like be like, "Fuck you, UFC," that kind of thing, right? That's totally a Nate Diaz kind of move. So I can definitely see that going. And like I said, people, if you are betting, mybookie.ag has some bets, but Bet Online AG, which the one I use, is plus 900 for Nate Diaz. So go ahead and make your bets right now because that is a really fine odd right there. So that is it for this week of Fights Unwrapped. But next week we have UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. That's your
Oh,
guy
I
right
can't
there.
wait. That's my dog.
That's
You
your
dog
guy.
song.
So
Brings a
we're
smile to my face. I love that dude.
I know you do. I know you like them. And we are going to have a good show for that one. Hopefully, they find a new fight for the whole Giga versus Sadiq Yusuf fight. I hope they find a replacement for that. But I want to thank my co-host Dustin Hunt, obviously, for being on the show with me, and for Alec Carr, we wish you all the best of luck with your work and stuff like that. And we'll see you all next week for Fights Unwrapped. Bye, everybody.